favorite.
You and Andy have that in common.
Yeah.
It's a conversation that comes up between you two quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
And Alex, how do screens help you? Like maybe when you come home from school, you've had a tough day. How do screens help you?
Usually they keep my mind busy, especially when I'm playing them at social club.
Yeah, you had once said that you have a lot of talk and your mind has a lot going on, and that when you play video games or you do something like that, it helps calm you down, right?
Just keep your mind busy.
Keeps your mind busy on other things, right? But you also like you have your handheld game too, right?
I don't really play it that much anymore.
And because your mom and dad used to let you do that a lot, but now they're saying that you've grown up so much that when you're in a restaurant or something, they don't have you use your handheld game because they want you to kind of be with them and be, part of everything. So you've really grown up a lot where you can actually be in a restaurant and not have to occupy yourself. Is that correct?
Right.
Yeah. And you also like music a lot too. And do you have an MP3 player?
I don't use it that much anymore. Mostly I use my iPod. My iPod has 11 songs from the album All the Right Reasons by the band Nickelback.
Oh yeah.
Nickelback's one of my favorite. Others are Bowling for Soup and Offspring.
You're also a pretty big Tom Petty and Dragon Force fan, right?
Yeah.
Which you have in common with Andy.
Yeah.
Right? Did we want to talk a little bit about travel with Alex?
Yeah, because it's kind of a big helpful thing for you when you travel. I know that on the school bus, Alex, you bring your iPod, right?
Yeah, because there used to be. Because sometimes there are kids who drive me crazy on the bus, and I decided that I'm gonna bring my iPod or MP3 player with me the next time I go on a plane.
Yeah. So when you have your iPod on the school bus, do you just ignore what the other kids are doing?
Yes.
So that really helps keep your behavior and your frustration in check, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
And I saw that you also had your iPod with you when we were on the train to Washington, D.C., and that was a good long train ride. That was 6 hours.
Just imagine how long it takes 6 hours for a train ride to Washington, D.C. Just imagine how long it'll take for a plane ride to Hawaii.
Probably something you'll want an MP3 player or an iPod for the trip, huh?
That could take days.
Alex, do you ever have trouble getting off screens? He's looking at Mom. What do you think? Do you have trouble getting off games? Yes or no?
Sometimes I do because it's a really hard video, especially if it's a really hard video game. Like if there's this really hard part, I don't want to have to do all over again. I want to save it. Sometimes when I can't save a video game after I've completed a hard part, I've been trying so hard to complete for weeks, and I get frustrated.
You get frustrated. Yeah.
Though Star Wars is an easy game for me.
You've also said, Alex, that one of the good things about video games is that if you get frustrated, you can turn them off and walk away, right?
Because I get tired of losing over and over, so I angrily turn it off and leave.
But that's
Never do that.
That's a good coping mechanism then.
When I was younger, sometimes, yeah.
So it's almost time for us to end, and we just have a few more minutes. How would we like to wrap it up? I know, Andy, is there anything you'd like to say as a final word?
I just wanted to say thank you for joining us, and also that. You mean about the show too? Or?
Yeah,
okay,
that would be good.
Well, I just traveling has always been a good thing for me as well. Like over the years, it's gotten me to leave the house sometimes. And it got especially if I have a good say a New Britain Rockets baseball game to go to and everything.
So you have a non-screen incentive to travel. That's
there's plenty of reasons why I like to go out. Yeah.
So. just so for parents, just try and understand what the video games mean to your children, how to help them get off if they need to, so that they're not frustrated, and just when you're traveling or out in restaurants or things like that, sometimes there's a lot of things that parents have now that they didn't have available, when I was a kid, to help, keep somebody active, but it's not all bad. Is that our message?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think in keeping with that message, it would probably be good to close on a point that Emily's made before, which is that going into your own world sometimes is something that can be really helpful and therapeutic when the world that you're in is just really difficult to be in. And video games can be a great way to go into your own world, and sometimes you might need a little bit of help being brought back out, but for me, I have a lot of trouble going into that space, and video games are a way of helping me get there. So it's just important to remember that sometimes being in your own world isn't a bad thing, because the world around us can be so overstimulating, it can be so stressful, and it can really often not be a very friendly place. And sometimes all we need is just a little bit of time away from the world we're in. And this is, screens can be one of many possible ways to achieve that. So
basically, they just have screens, or video games or screens in general, can have a good effect and bad effect on people. It just depends on how you use it.
So moderation, and that's something that Dan, you seem to have mastered that at a young age. All right. Again, we'd like to thank you all for joining us, and we will be back with some more interesting topics. We hope you find this interesting. Yeah. And guys, would you like to say goodbye to the audience?
Goodbye, and thank you.
Goodbye.
Thanks for joining
Thank you. And aloha, Alex. Is that what we would say if we were in Hawaii? Alex wants to go to Hawaii. Join us again.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for being with us.